Go out to LA. The new anthem. California Love Part 2. To live and die in LA. West side, west side, west side. To live and die in LA, where everybody try to fatten their pocket. So many hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency change.
Well, hello.
Oh, well, hello. God bless you, community family. Welcome to Gang Talk. I was sitting here looking at the Moore Studio logo and didn't know we was on the air. I heard Tupac singing and heard him stop singing. And, well, God bless you and welcome to Gang Talk with Skipp Townsend, Marcus Woods, and Sister Herron. And as you can see, we're the three Musketeers tonight, okay?
Musketeers?
Yeah, the Musketeers.
The Musketeers.
Yeah. We got business we got to take care of. Sometimes it's messy, and it's okay because we ain't mad at each other and really blessed to know these two young men. And I surprised them tonight because they wasn't expecting to be it, but I wanted to feature them because this is our first show in the last month of 2017, and I always want our shows to be special, and we try to get the special people in here, and it takes them and the courage to come and sit in these chairs and let us ask them about their experience and where they're going and what they're doing and what they're about. So that's what Gang Talk is about. We discuss this in detail. And so we're just happy to be here every Thursday to spend this time with you. So let's just start with our oldest co-host.
All right.
Longtime co-host, Skipp Townsend.
OG co-host.
OG co-host.
Right. Well, as always, I give honor and praise to God. I'm truly grateful and honored to be here. Blessed to be alive, sister. I cannot just say how it feels to be alive. It just feels so good to me. I don't want to wake up dead any day soon, so I'm just grateful. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of the show. Glad that I have time to be a part of the show. You know?
Oh, yes.
So just happy for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're very busy, and we like that about you, Skipp. You keep yourself involved, and really, when they talk about boots on the ground, you got your feet on the ground every day, going here and there and everywhere you possibly can, and that's one of the things I admire about you. You don't have to have a license to operate. Yeah. You're just already given that respect everywhere you go, and
I think God blessed me like that, and it's truly grateful, and to be able to go to different communities and be respected, and go to different communities and they already know why I'm there, and they're happy that I'm there. It feels really good, and I don't overlook that blessing as well.
Yes. Well, the division amongst us has been the greatest detriment to our people as a whole, and so you represent the bridge building, that what you just talked about represents that coming back and reclaiming who we actually are, that we are a caring people, that we cared about each other until the devastation showed up and destroyed so much. And so I thank you for who you are and what you do, and thank you for being our co-host.
Yes.
And also we want to thank Marcus, because Marcus, bless his heart, he's the youngest co-host, in that when he came back and we met at the Southern California ceasefire meeting, Marcus took a great interest in what we were trying to do.
No. He took a great interest in what we're doing.
Well, yeah, what we're doing. I make that mistake all the time.
We're not trying to do it. We're doing it, sister.
You're right. Yes,
going down.
Right.
It's going down.
It is going down, because I got the evidence right here that I meant to bring last week, but we'll get to that a little later. But Marcus, we want to thank you for coming back in your right mind and looking for a place that was better than where you were at 17.
Well, when I first came back, I wasn't in my right mind at all. I didn't even, I was isolated, if that's a word, but I didn't want to be around nobody. I felt more comfortable by myself.
Yeah.
So I've kind of, I don't want to say kind of, because Skipp say that tells my age. So I take the time to kind of, I did it again. See?
Can't not say kind of.
I really
What are you doing? Don't say what you kind of.
Okay, what I'm doing is I am a mentor in 2 schools in San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And I get a chance to talk to a bunch of kids who, it's a continuation school, both of them. So, I have fun with it. I get a chance to walk around and talk to them as if I was in school with them. Even the counselor thought I was a student. The counselor thought I was a student the other day.
Time you get to class.
I smile hard, too. I almost ran out the office. No, but, as always, I'm always blessed to be here, man. I get to learn from y'all. So the first day, I met Skipp at Ceasefire that day, too, that same day. And he pulled me over. He said, brother, why you sitting way in the back? Come sit up here. And he told you, he's like, why Marcus get to sit in the back like that?
It sounded like I was telling.
Yeah, no, he wasn't telling. He was kind of letting everybody know that there's somebody in the back, man. We got to get him to the front. So.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I might have thought you was going to hit us in the back of the head or something. Yeah. You come to the front. But, you were just saying that your transition, when you came home, you said you wasn't in your right mind. So I didn't want you to say kind of. You did something. There was a process. What did you do to get to where you are, I guess?
I had to humble myself because you know how you got, or I spent 17 years, right? I was used to a certain way, used to respect a certain way, used to people, moving a certain way. I didn't see that when I first came home. Mm-hmm. So I had this anger amongst, even my own community that, I probably shouldn't have, but I mean, it came from, me being in prison all them years, and not being around, what's going on out here in society. It's the same world, but 2 different worlds at the same time.
Let me ask it this way, because I figure the anger is going to come. It's going to come because they locked you up for all those years for something you didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you weren't guilty of, but they still took 17 years from you. At 17, I can see anger following that. It's like I'm just a kid. Why am I locked up? I didn't do this, and I'm gonna have to spend 17 years of my life.
And that's where a lot of my hatred for police came from.
Yeah. Well,
I sat in those walls and watched the politics of how they actually cause riots and all those things. And, I got a chance to actually understand politics because I didn't even think of it when I was 17. So, me being able to go through that, I tell my mom all the time it was a blessing, kind of, because I didn't, the day I went to prison, the day I went to jail, actually, I was supposed to go to a party with a couple of my friends, and the 3 people that I was going with, they died that night.
They died
that
night, yeah.
Me getting arrested probably was, what saved my life. So
divine intervention.
That was a divine intervention,
yes.
and I didn't see it that way then.
No.
But I had to grow up and learn and understand what was going on for me to.
And then, too, don't leave out the fact that 3 of your friends died that night. That's enough to anger any young man, and it's been hard because folks don't understand the depth of that. Were you there when they were killed?
No, I was already in cuffs and chains.
They just plucked you out before you could even get in.
Before I could even get there, I was supposed to.
But see how God worked, though?
Yeah.
See how God worked? So there's going to be a shooting at the party, or shooting on the way to the party, or after the party. Something's going to happen. And God, the all-knowing, knows everything. Mm-hmm. So let me save Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the way that I want God to save me is to put me in a nice, comfortable car with a nice fur coat on, and it don't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
God ain't going to put me in a mansion in a house somewhere. He might have to put me in jail just so I can get myself together.
I also used to sit in the cell like, why would God put me here? I'm 17. I ain't never did nothing. So I lost my faith that way. And it's
well,
it's
to be
slow.
fair, did you have any faith at 17?
I had a tad bit of understanding. I won't say faith.
Understanding.
I won't say it was faith because I didn't really believe in all the stuff I was being taught anyway.
Right.
But I think my understanding of it kind of pushed me through. Mm-hmm. I didn't really, I used to, as they say, blasphemy. You know, I
Yeah,
used to
blaspheme.
I used to do a lot of that. You know,
Yeah.
as far as the Bible is concerned, and I mean, I think I
You
used
was
to
blaming God.
I was,
I know.
You know, I
And
blame.
look, let me just put a pin in that. See, because so many of us blame God and we give the devil a pass.
But I
We
didn't,
don't
at the time, I
acknowledge
didn't
the
know either
devil
or.
having a playground with your life, the life of your 3 friends. No, we blame God for that. And that's amazing to me that we call ourselves believers. We blame God for everything, give the devil a pass every chance. Every chance something goes wrong, we never blame him. But before we get in that intense, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to show off our new set.
Hey, we're the first ones.
We're
Yeah,
the first
right?
ones.
We're the first ones. Put the
Morris
one up.
Media,
We're the first
look.
one. Morris Media. We're the first ones that had us
Look.
right here.
Yeah.
You know that. All right,
And-
number one. We number one.
Okay.
Gang Talk Radio on Morris Media live right now.
That's
Right
right.
now.
Right.
That's another number one for us, too. Last week was our first live broadcast on Facebook
Yes.
at 6 o'clock. So we simulcast.
And the first interview by Cynthia Nunn. She
Yes.
run from interviews. She ain't interviewed with nobody. She called me and told me, say, you know this dude? I said, yeah. She said, he trying to interview me. I said, is that right? She said, I ain't doing it. You know? So she came out here with us. So I'm just happy to, the first interview, Cynthia Nunn was right here when we
Yeah.
did it live on
Yeah.
Facebook.
That's what's up.
Our first guest on our first live Facebook broadcast. That's all right. Now, tonight, we're here tonight with the first background doing our second live broadcast. And
But you know what though, sister? I was told that black people and fish get caught up looking at shiny things. So do you think that our viewers are gonna not be looking at us and look at all the shiny stuff behind us?
should I move back closer to it? You know? I'm just so tickled. You know, I'm just so happy for Poetess in that her hard work is showing and it's right in the hub of our community. And that's such a gift for us to have
Poetess.
something right here. What
That's
did I-
Felicia, huh?
Yeah, Felicia.
That's Felicia. Hey,
Hi,
Felicia.
Felicia.
Right. Yeah.
Look, as long as it's not derogatory, okay? See, because I want people to understand, it's not by Felicia anymore. It's by Becky.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wait, when they start that? I ain't
What's
hip.
her name? Beyonce.
Oh, I ain't hip.
Because I think Jay-Z was messing around with some white girl.
Becky.
And she called her Becky,
Becky
with the good hair.
Yes, Becky with the good hair. So,
Right.
yeah, it ain't Felicia anymore. It's Becky. So let's keep that straight because Becky's running. Well, let me be careful how I say that because the senator resigned today.
Right. You know, everything is becoming sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's the way to get them out.
That's
Yeah.
the way to
In
get...
politics, you can, especially if in our race, just think about Bill Cosby, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
That's the one. If you think about Derrick Rose, Kobe Bryant, that's the one thing that they get to get people to back
Mike
off.
Tyson.
Exactly,
Oh,
Michael Jordan,
Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael
So
So
Jordan.
that Michael
God,
Jackson had
yes.
those little
Yeah.
boys, though.
But
Yeah.
that's the one thing that they feel they can use to
Right.
get people to divide, from that person.
But so then why they didn't get rid of 45?
Yeah,
45
He said just grab him in the... He sounded like he
Because-
was on the Humpty Dance.
and I tell a lot
Just
of
grab
people
him in
the
there.
reason why they don't go after him because half of them are doing the same things.
that's true.
Majority of them.
True.
Just look at how these senators is retiring, and I don't want to talk to this senator anymore because he touched that person, or you said he touched that person. Right. They've been doing that for ages. They've been touching each other for ages. I mean,
I agree.
it's
well,
a lot of stuff.
there used to be a time when they actually hired the ladies on the side. They actually had them on payroll, and I'm trying to think
They
of
were
that.
service providers?
Yes,
Buffers.
yes. Paid with your tax dollar service
Right.
providers. I'm trying to think of that senator that got busted because he sure did have that blonde on his staff.
I forget his name. It was a funny name too.
Yeah. Somebody
Monica
remember.
Lou.
No, not Monica. No, this
Right.
was way before.
Yeah,
her.
she was an intern. She didn't get paid for all the
Wiener.
stuff.
No,
Was that
not
it?
Wiener. No, Wiener was a.
That was a
Yeah,
weird name.
he
was
so
a
you
weird
should have
one.
known he was foul, huh? A name like Wiener.
With a name
He
like
looked up
that,
his
that he
name,
was
though,
really
didn't he?
pushing.
Oh, my
You
God.
had to know.
Yeah, he pushed
That was his
buttons.
stage name.
Oh my God! Oh,
Yeah, that was a
man,
foul cat.
He
Yeah.
was really out of control. And then you have Elliot Spitzer, who actually got busted and lost his job because he was paying working girls for afternoon delight.
Charlie Rose.
Yeah.
They got
No.
Charlie Rose. Charlie Rose been on TV for longer than
you know what
I've
they
been
say?
alive.
They say Charlie Rose had a solenoid at his door. He could hit a button and it locked the door.
Look, Charlie
now they
Rose
can.
and Matt Lauer.
Yeah, Matt
Let me
Lauer.
think about
That's
Matt
one.
Lauer.
Matt Lauer too.
Well, what they really want you to know is that those kind of offices it's common to have those kind of buttons. Okay?
That was the only way
Now,
it was going to get Charlie Rose off
it wasn't
TV.
meant for you to take advantage of it, but it's not uncommon to have those kind of door locking buttons that
So in our community, when you have buttons like that, people talk. Like,
Yeah.
I got a homeboy, a friend, don't say his name, y'all. Y'all know him too. But he had the back doors in his car locked and you can't get out.
Oh no.
And y'all know him. So we talk bad about him. Said, brother, why you got that like that? And you pick up people in this car, so change it. You know, you got to change that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we make our people do something different. We ain't
Well,
sitting back
You know,
watching.
They ain't condoning it.
I don't
we
want to
ain't
just
condone
blame it on you guys, but okay, I don't know any women that do that. Excuse
Do
me.
what?
Take that
Service
back.
providers?
I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah,
No,
there's a lot of service providers.
no.
Oh, what'd you call them? Daytime delights? What'd you call them?
She was a paid escort,
Right.
paying her $80,000 a year escort.
Oh, yeah. Well, she owe a lot of escorting. 80,000. Woo wee.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, lunchtime.
All right.
Okay,
That's a expensive lunch break.
well, you was paying it.
Right.
He was using tax dollars. I don't know. Let me not convict him because he was already fired way back when that came out.
But still, I mean, that needs to be said because these are the people that we're putting our trust in.
Well-
and they're abusing their power.
Let me say this differently. Spitzer paid for his lust. He didn't just walk up and just this kind of thing. He didn't do a Trump thing, grab him. He didn't do that. He kept it personal. He
But
kept
he
it
paid with
professional.
our money.
He paid for it. Well, you paying $45 right now to go play golf. You're paying him to take his kids across the world, and you paying him to go to Saudi Arabia, give a big contract to Saudi Arabia, and help his daughter get $1 million out of that contract. See, it's a double standard going on here that has gotten so offensive that I really don't know what to say. I know what to say. It's like, can I not get in trouble for saying it?
Right.
So let me just sidetrack a minute before we jump in politics, because I want to thank somebody. Barbara Pritchard.
Pritchard, huge.
She's been a guest on the show. Both of her sons were murdered. The first one was murdered 10 years ago at age 15. And her second son was murdered, was it last year?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, last year behind some foolishness that somebody else perpetrated. And the enemies just came back in the community and picked out anybody that was available and killed her second son in broad daylight coming home from work in his hospital scrubs across the street from a park. Yeah. So that's two sons in one family murdered. And that's the story that is in Kathy Wooten's history. 2 of her sons were murdered. Cynthia Mendenhall had 2 of her sons die. And so these are the tragedies that have us coming together trying to make a difference. Well, Barbara actually had her first black and white event for the Gentle Giants. It's their first annual black and white ball. And I mean, it was a ball. They were dressed up. I mean, ladies had on evening gowns. I felt so out of place. It's like, dang.
I seen Skipp in his suit.
Man, Skipp was sharp.
I seen him in a
Sharp as a razor blade.
And they presented me with this.
Yes, man.
A Golden Mike Award.
Can you take it out?
Well, yeah, my fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, don't drop it now.
But that's what she gave to me.
Yeah, that's nice with a diamond on top.
A big old diamond.
Diamond in
Diamond
the back.
in the rough.
Sun
Yes.
rooftop. Digging in the scene with a gangster.
Okay. And she honored Vicki Lindsay.
Yes.
For her lifetime
That's
of
my
work.
grandmother.
Yes.
Oh man,
that's all I
everything
got
was
left.
cool. I purposely did not get emotional when I was bringing you up, I did like this and said pizza and ice cream.
Okay.
And I made sure that I didn't get emotional, and I stood there and I took it like a man, right? As soon as they called Vicky Lindsay up and LaJuan walked off or whatever, and then his wife come up there, I punch her right here.
Yeah.
She made everybody cry.
Yeah, she
and
did.
I was thinking, why are you doing that, man?
Well, because
Why
it's
you
very
making us cry?
emotional. And, you know, we love Vicky. And as long as Vicky has been, Barbara really wanted to acknowledge Vicky in a way that doesn't happen very often. And that's because Vicky has touched so many families. She has dedicated herself to helping grieving families get through the process, you know, burial, crisis counseling, just a shoulder to cry on. And that's been Vicky's life work. So it was good to be there and see her honored. And I'm just sorry that Vicky wasn't able to attend, but it was good to see her son.
Do you
and
know
his
where
wife.
they left their child?
With her.
With Vicky. So look, hey Vicky, they're gonna honor you tonight. So we need you to watch the baby while we go and receive your award.
Well,
I
she
love it.
wasn't coming, so
Right.
it's all right. She, you know, Vicky's been a little ill. She's had some challenges this past year.
I love you, Vicky. I miss you.
Yes, we do. We miss you, Vicky.
No,
We
they miss you, Vicky. I want to talk bag. Come on, let's bag on each other again.
Right.
Okay.
So see, the one thing about me, Vicky, and
That's
Pam.
what I miss, too.
Yeah, me, Vicky, and Pam, we talk about each other.
Yeah.
I miss you walking in the room and saying, while my grandmother is speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
those
yeah, I miss
days.
the sarcasm.
Right.
You know, I like the sarcasm part of it. You know, the other part, the I love you, I miss you. Man, that'll make me sad. You know. So Vicky, come back around so I could talk about you.
Come to the Christmas
Her
party.
and Silas got good jokes, too, when they had each other. That's
Yeah.
really funny.
Right.
Well, you know, we've been at this for a long time, and we don't have room for foolishness, you know, because the work she does the hardest job, and that's to help the grief. You know, you help the knuckleheads, you're helping youngsters. She's helping people walk through this grief, you know, and
But not only is she doing that, she's also teaching us. There's so much that I've learned that I hear people repeating what I've said,
yeah.
and they know I got it from Vicky. Like,
Yes.
you know, so many mothers I'm with now who says, no, my child was not lost.
Right.
My child was murdered.
Yes.
And it's hard for you guys to say that, but it's my child who was murdered. Lady I work with, Mel, was saying that. And it's so powerful.
Yes,
you
it
know,
is.
and I might not know the right thing to say. Well, then I don't need to say nothing at all. That too is so powerful that
Right.
everyone is looking to say that right thing that help. Like, oh, you got
Find
more
that
kids,
right word,
and
yeah.
find that right word. And there is no just shut up and listen. Is what
Yeah.
I've learned from Vicky.
Because
I've
folks
really
have
learned a
said
lot.
some stupid things at the wrong time, at the
Oh.
worst time.
Danny Farber Jr. was killed at the chicken stand.
Right.
Louisiana Chicken, 2009, May 24th. And I'm there with the family. This is Karen's brother and sister-in-law. And the clergy council came over there and said, Skipp, do you know the family? Can you introduce me to him? I introduced him to the family, and the first thing he said was he saved? Which is, and Kenny, which is Karen's brother, said, Skipp, you know him? Get him out my face before I sock him as hard as I can.
Yeah. Get
Man,
him
you know,
away
so
from here.
the people just don't know the right thing to say. They think they know it because I'm a good
Because they
Christian or
told to
whatever.
console. You got to console this person when they're going through something.
You know what Skipp is pointing out? He was so insensitive. He didn't even recognize that was a rude question at that moment.
Right.
He's dead.
That's what he is.
Yeah. What can you say about him now other than ask, was he saved before he was killed? You know, it's totally irrelevant at that point. And that was the insensitivity that Vicky always challenged. Don't come in
Right.
here and just talk crazy to us. We're not going to have it. So many times she stood in between the family and that. So,
But when she stood in front of the family, though, she was doing like this to the clergy. She was like, "You get out of here!" And she was bang on them like, "Don't come over here with that stupid stuff." And yeah. I remember being out. I don't know if you remember, there was a young man killed in Compton by the Food for Less at the railroad tracks. And I'm standing around, and all of a sudden I see Karen getting mad, and she's doing this, and Vicky's getting mad. And I'm like, well, what are they doing? So, of course, I'm coming like, what's going on? And it was actually a mortuary. There were people from the mortuary who were trying to talk to the family while the body is still laying there on the ground.
Oh, no.
But Karen recognized and told Vicky who they were, and they was on them. They was going to beat them up. So, I mean, I love it. I love what they do.
I'm just thinking of you saying that and thinking of Vicky at the same time.
Yeah, 4'11".
Yeah.
She stand up tall.
Hey, look.
She coming.
She might as well be 7 feet.
She coming.
4'11", standing on a ladder, okay? Because she will raise up and become 7 feet.
I think the biggest message that she pushes is you can't put a time limit on your grief.
Right.
She makes sure she let a lot of people know that, she's going through what she's going through. But when you try to get people to, the words "get over it,"
oh my God,
or the words, they're in a better place. Those aren't words you want to hear when you're looking at your family in a coffin. Or
every family believes my child's better place is here with them.
Right.
Every family believes that better place is here with us. Okay, and then I have had people say that to me. Well, it's time for them to get over it. It's like,
oh, that's crazy.
It is
That's
crazy.
it's time for you to move on.
Yeah, it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to get over it. It's time for you to let that go. It's
and who is the person that determines that the time is now?
That's the question.
And that's not your child. So who? Yeah, Vicky will have us all out here fighting.
Right.
Fighting all.
Yes, she would. But we get it straight. Look,
Yes,
we wouldn't be
indeed.
wasting our time fighting for nothing.
Right.
We get it straight. And so, because of the work, and I really want family, I want you to understand, this is the first week in this special month for believers. Okay, I know they talk about Santa Claus, but I'm talking to believers right now because in that faith, there are only 2 significant dates in the year. One is resurrection, the other one is Christmas. All right? And we have all but camouflaged both because at resurrection, we fight against the bunny and the Easter eggs. And then at Christmas, we fight with Santa Claus. So believers don't like any of that. They want the 25th to be just acknowledging the birth date. Okay, that's not the date that he was actually born, but that's the date that the world has accepted to recognize as his birth date. So that's really why I wanted to open this month with just you, because this is our last month of the year of 2017, and this is the end of our second year at Morris Media doing this live.
It's been 2 years.
Hey, that's what I was about to say. 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
We started in December?
We started in January last year.
January 2016.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is the end of 2017.
All right.
Yeah. So January would be the beginning of our third year if we continue. And that was another thing that
She kicking us out? Hey, Alicia, she kicking us out. She kicking us out. She told us to leave. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Don't ask Felicia that question because she doesn't have the answer.
Okay.
It's a thing that we have to decide. Does our community want Gang Talk to continue? Do you want it to continue? And that's what brought me to Marcus. Had a proposal that he suggested to me just this week.
I talked to the principals at my school, and they willing to allow a podcast to be held at the school right there with the kids would be like, how you used to talk about you wanted an audience. You'd have kids to talk to and talk back.
And they'll talk back.
Yeah, so I proposed that because I think Gang Talk is good for everybody. Whether they watch it or not, somebody telling them. I know I tell them, so I think this is like one of the best things that we could have for our community because it's always somebody to give us some information that we otherwise wouldn't get.
Yeah.
So.
And truthfully, from the beginning, it's been about us. It really got nothing to do with me except making the time and space available for this conversation. But my intent was always to grandmother it to you, Skipp. I'm going to just be honest, because you're out with the young people. You spend a lot of time with them every day and going in the lockup and mentoring angry women, and I've met some of them, and they're remarkable ladies. So
the ones I met are pretty smart.
Yeah.
How you pick them?
Yeah.
How you pick those?
I only mess with girls that could beat me up.
Okay, because Petra look.
Right. Petra hit me in my stomach so many times, I got to play it off like it ain't nothing.
Petra knock you down and fold you up and put you in a box, okay, and put a bow on top of it. But I love that girl. Petra's the one that talked to a 12-year-old Leah, and I was just so moved by how sensitive she was with Leah and how thorough she was. She talked to Leah like a big sister, like a big sister, told her the truth. Yeah, I was robbing banks because we was having fun. We thought it was fun. I thought it was fun until I got locked up. Then my attitude changed, and it's like, well,
when you know you're not going home, your attitude changed quickly.
Right.
Quickly.
As it should.
When I finally realized that, it wasn't no half times and all that old stuff going down, and you will be here, I had to buckle down because I didn't get a chance to see my grandmother till like my 12th year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's only because I came down to Lancaster. Had I not, they didn't even want to let, they don't want to let you even come near your home.
No.
They want you to be way up north somewhere.
But they also make money off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're far away.
Because they can put you in industries.
Right.
They could put you in the prison industry, let you work for 32 cents, maybe 95 if you're in the right spot.
Remember what Leo said? Said he was making $1. And I said, man, you was balling.
That's in prison industry. You can make up, the highest you can make in industry is $1. And then joint venture, you can make minimum wage.
Right.
So I don't know what it is in there now. It's not the same as out here. Back then it was like minimum wage in there, it was like $6. So it's like, it's like I said earlier, it's two different worlds, but the same world at the same time. Because the only difference is people is inside of a box. Out here it's the same thing, but we got police shooting with guns instead of block guns. So.
The police have always been that, though. They've always been that. So that's not new news for our community. And the thing I loved about Mel, because that was my question, been my question all year, is how do black men survive an encounter with law enforcement? Right. How do you survive? And I asked Mel when we had the young men that had their own businesses, Taco Mel and Mr. Fries and the man that makes the puddings. I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name either, but he was there too. He was there the other night. Yeah, I saw him when he walked in.
Yeah. Well, Mel said, hey, look, if they get behind me, I turn the engine off, throw the keys out the window, and put my hands on the steering wheel and just sit there.
Right.
And I thought, that's the answer. Just throw the keys out, put your hands on the steering wheel, and don't move.
But you got to get out the car to get your keys. Because they ain't going to get
Not until they tell you. See, the problem, what his understanding is, I throw the keys out so they know I ain't going nowhere. That's really how he handles that. I just throw them right on out the window so they know I ain't moving.
Right.
You ain't going to catch me in no high-speed chase.
Sister, we have a phone call.
We have a phone call. Well, bless your heart. Caller, can you hear us?
Yeah, this is Darnell from Detroit.
Well, hi, Darnell from Detroit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gang Talk.
That's the one you talked to last time.
I was calling to congratulate you on your award.
That's what's up.
Thank you. That was a big surprise for me. A big surprise. Yeah. And the biggest surprise was they had Skipp introduce me. They had Skipp. They kept a secret.
Right.
Okay. And I didn't know that they were going to do that until they called Skipp up on the stage and he started talking about me. It's like, what? What? So thank you. That was very nice. It was, you know what? It wasn't just the award. It was a fellowship of the community at the event. Everybody coming together to share a good time that night. That was the best part of it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Darnell from Detroit, how did you find out about Gang Talk Radio on Morris Media?
Through the Poetic Speakers. I mean, I listen,
Oh, okay.
and sister caught my attention.
Yes,
I
indeed.
tried all the shows. I don't really watch none of them. The
All
only
right.
ones that really caught my attention was y'all show, and sometimes I listen to the Mad Marv.
Okay.
Sometimes, but y'all show, I mostly listen to y'all every week.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate your support, brother.
Yeah, every sister caught my attention the way she was speaking. I'm like, she really about something. She been doing some work, some community work, because I know I do community work, and I know when somebody, you know how they say real recognize real?
Yes, sir. Take one to know one, don't it?
Right.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
she know what she talking about and know what she really been doing it. And then on top of that, I seen the guests y'all was bringing on, and I seen people who's been through the struggle and they been striving and trying to do better, and I just was like, this is a real show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's why,
Truly
and I heard
appreciate
y'all
it.
talking about y'all wanted to stop. Y'all should keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Because one thing about it, what Poet is doing is might be slow a little bit now, but as the years go by, it's gonna blow up because this the new thing. It's just not catching. The people ain't caught on yet all the way
Right.
fully. And then the way she building it with all different topics
Yes.
and genres for
Yes.
different people, it's gonna take a minute for people to catch on. But I think it's gonna be successful because it's a new platform.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is. Can you see our new background? Can you see the new background? Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it look like CNN. I thought y'all was bad news or something. I'm like, what's going on?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. You know what? How is our lovely Detroit? How you doing out there? Because you know that's our sister city.
It's got to be snowing by now, right?
I ain't talking about snow. I'm not talking about weather. Skip.
Yeah, I'm not out there now.
Okay.
I moved to the south.
Okay.
I'm not out there now, but I definitely go back as much as I can. But yeah, I'm in the south right now.
Okay.
Alabama and Tuscaloosa.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tuscaloosa.
All right, because you said Alabama. I started to ask the wrong question. I'm just going to let it pass.
All right, about one of them Klan members out there?
No.
Hey, Skip.
Yes, sir.
What about the guy, the other guy? Was he there? The guy that you give a lot of praise to. I wanted to say his name, Larry.
Larry Aubrey.
I think that Skipp guy is Skipp guy. I
The
know
OG?
Skipp stopped him. I know he do a lot of work too.
Well, you probably talking about Larry Aubrey.
Larry Aubrey, was he an older guy who came on the show, or is?
Yeah, when you brought your sons on there.
Oh yeah, Larry Aubrey. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Good
Yes,
dude.
indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. He actually he's one of the older members in the community, and you know all the stuff he's been through. He started working for the school board, and then after that, he started working with the Sentinel newspaper. So he
was a probation officer.
Yeah, he was a
for
probation
while,
officer
too.
for a while. So he gets into the supervisors, the mayor. He gets
Yeah.
in their face and tell them what's wrong. You know, the issues that they try to ignore or sweep under the rug. You know, one thing that Larry taught me, is to know the difference between shit and ice cream.
Okay,
And
yes.
don't take the
That's
shit.
what he
Skip.
told me.
So yeah, just as
I
long
just
as we know
love
the
our
difference.
colorful language.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
know the difference.
We
'cause
got
if
to
you
know
don't,
the difference
You in trouble.
because they're going to try to feed us this shit all the
Yeah,
time.
all
Tell
the
us it's
time.
ice cream.
Tell us his ice cream.
They're feeding us that right now. I mean, from the top down, it's so shameful. It's just. I just can't even talk about politics. I can't watch the news anymore. I only peek in CNN to just for a second because I can't stand to hear any more of this nonsense. There's so much hypocrisy coming from our government now. I just
Right.
I got
I
no
don't even
faith in
watch
this
CNN.
system anymore at all. Not that I ever did, but now it's just worse than ever.
Right.
I mean, we have a pedophile that they call in the president. Come on.
Right.
All right,
Well,
so
everybody know what I call him.
Donald Duck.
Donald Trump.
Oh,
Donald Trump. Yeah, I told you to leave Donald Duck alone now. I
I
love
found
Donald
a better
Duck.
name. That's Donald Trump.
Trump.
It matches.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, y'all thank Darnell, man. That was a
Yeah,
really
man.
good
I
call,
appreciate
man.
you
Yeah, I
calling,
really do.
brother.
I appreciate your wisdom, brother. You well
y'all
spoken
keep,
too.
Y'all keep doing what y'all doing and keep bringing the guests the information y'all bringing. I'm telling you, y'all going it's gonna do well.
All right.
You keep giving your friends and family the morrismedialive.com signal.
That's right.
And they can get on here and join the conversation with you.
And if you come to L.A., you can come sit in the...
You can come sit in these seats.
Right.
Talk to the community about what you've been doing.
I think he wants to interview you.
Right.
I think that's what needs to happen. He needs to come and interview. I think you need to come to L.A. And interview Sister Herron yourself and allow us to sit and listen and watch this,
Yes, indeed. I mean, because really, we need questions from people like that.
From
we
the community.
We need to know what are some of the things. And you, just in this small 5 minutes, you've given us a lot, brother. Yeah. And like I say, I truly appreciate you. Thank you for calling in.
And I want to say this, too. You don't have to come to L.A. to visit, to interview me. You can interview me on the telephone. You come to L.A., I want you here in the studio talking to our community about what you're doing on the East Coast, from Detroit all the way down to where you are right now.
Okay, sister, that's not the East Coast, though.
Now,
Detroit is sort of like Midwest and then the South,
I know, but he knows you know what I mean, don't you, baby? You understand what I meant.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming out there anyway.
Good.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, brother.
You make sure you contact me when you do come. And look, you can call me about that interview. We don't have to wait on that. So, bless your heart.
I ain't doing no interview, but I'm coming out there on the community.
Okay.
Community family. We're gonna stay with the community. With your community family.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for the call, and we're so happy to hear from you, honey, and I want to wish you a nice, safe holiday.
Okay, you too.
All right. All right, bro.
God bless.
All right.
God bless you, too. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's nice. I really like that input, because you never know if people are really hearing you, if they're listening, if they don't respond. And we've had the Gang Talk Forum up on Facebook for quite a while. And here of late, we're starting to get comments about the things that we post. Because anything that we post in the forum, we believe is important for us as a people. And we need to be talking about this amongst ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's really the most important thing that we need to bring back, is communicating with each other. And that's the good news that I want to share, too. As this is our last month of this year, things are changing. They really are. Yeah. And I see it in the generation coming under him.
Got another phone call.
Another phone call. Oh. They called on your phone?
No, they called Felicia's phone.
Oh, Felicia.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I am Faith. I am from San Bernardino.
Oh,
okay.
That's my little mentee right there.
Uh-huh. Okay. When they said San Bernardino, I figured that was you.
I heard her voice first because she's the only person I know that talks slow like that.
Oh, okay.
How you doing, Faith?
I don't think she talks slow. I think you listening fast.
I want to talk about my bullying issue.
Oh, yeah. She's been having a bullying issue at school with the
and
little
it's
girl.
Definitely time to address that.
Yeah.
Please, little baby, talk about it.
Can you hear us, honey?
Go ahead, Faith. Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead, talk.
Okay. I was having my bullying issue because a girl would put her hand in my face, and I would try to control myself because that's not me putting somebody's hand on. Mm-hmm. So I directly went to the office to control my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, first of all, that was the right thing to do. And I'm glad you did that.
The biggest issue with it was there was no communication in the school. From the principal to the counselors, it was 3 times this issue happened with this same kid, and none of them was communicating. It's just a note that they wrote. So I went up there myself yesterday in the morning and kind of talked to the counselors, and we found out that was the problem. Nobody was communicating. So Faith been through a lot of stuff, man. She got a PSA on YouTube that they did on her. The DA did on her mom went through the domestic violence issue, but she was involved, and you know, she speaks out on it. You know, she's pretty smart, man. She just, you know, she seeing those kind of things.
Right.
It brings her back. It triggers her back to what happened to her mom.
Of course it does.
She brings herself to a point where she's the nice faith all the time, and she wants to befriend you, even though you know you're sitting here doing this to her. You know, so
you know what, Faith. Faith, bless your heart.
I call her Fearless. That's her name.
Fearless.
Faith. Okay, Fearless Faith. We are so proud that you have the courage. You have the courage to address this because it's a big issue. It's a big issue right now, especially for children your age. How old are you, honey?
I'm 11 years old.
11, yes. And it seems to be in that age group where it kind of starts and gets real serious. And so I really want to applaud you for not letting the bully draw you in to where you could get physically hurt. That's a fine line that our kids are forced to walk. And it's so unfortunate. What makes it bad is that nobody is addressing the bully. See, and really that has to be a part of it. You cannot just keep walking away and the bully keeps getting away. That's the problem. And someone has been negligent. And I'm going to use that word because if you told any adult that you were being mistreated by another child, they should have responded to you and responded to that immediately. Parents should have been called in.
Should have been a mediation.
It should have been a mediation. That's right.
And it wasn't even that then. We went up there in the morning when, you know, before her to go to school, and her mother initiated it. It wasn't the school that initiated anything. We sat in the room with the counselor or whatnot, and then the principal came later. But at first, she didn't even want to come.
But do you see what made that ball start rolling? And it was Faith. Faith, you are the one who made everything possible by you saying something, by you recognizing it was wrong and you were not supposed to respond with violence and you did the right thing. And that's the reason why the conversation happened is because Faith did something.
Because you had the courage. You had the courage to walk away and tell. But
I want to say, though, that our children should not be held accountable to do this. I want to hold the principal, the teachers of the school. Exactly. I want to hold everyone else accountable so our children could be free to play and be 11 years old. Exactly. But Faith, for right now, I do want to say thank you for what you've done. I want to say that you're my shero right now.
That's right. That's right. You are shero right now.
I know she's my shero.
You know, because, see, the kind of people you're talking to right here, Marcus, Skipp, myself, we'd have come up to that school and cut up and acted a fool.
Yeah, no, you had to leave me in the car. We'd have put them
on blast.
You had to leave me in the car.
They tried leaving me in the car.
You had to leave me in the car because if I get out,
you cannot ignore our children over this kind of stuff. Absolutely not. So when I say that we would have come and cut up, we would have. We'd have kept Skipp in the car. Right. We'd have had to keep him in the car. But the point is, people like us would have responded immediately and challenged the school for neglecting you, honey. That's what we're here for, is to protect you.
And this is a great subject, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to go week by week without not talking about bullying because it's so prevalent. We talk about what we're going to do for young people, and we talk about politicians and Donald Trump and stuff, and that's not even it. It's our children that's being bullied that really need our help right now. Fearless Faith, thank you very much for being you. Thank you for that.
And you call us anytime you have another question, okay? Matter of fact, keep...
One more thing is that the school doesn't realize that the bully has the same characteristics of an abuser.
Yes,
so it's really hard for them. Because they come home as the victim and go home as a perpetrator, as the bully.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I had to go to school to learn all this stuff that you're saying. I learned this too in school. How did you get this? Where you learning this from?
She's going through school right now. Oh, she's doing the 40-hour domestic violence training herself.
Oh, okay, because I went through it. Yeah, okay. Because I hear the language. Yeah. I hear the language, right, of the abuser and the perpetrator. And it's definitely exactly what I learned. And once again, You are my shero again.
Well, you know what? That's
Because I'm going to be the youngest domestic violence advocate because what I've been through was really hard, but I was so young.
Yes.
But that's
and
great.
I want to help.
No, we gotta get her on the show.
Kids. I want to help the kids and tell them that they have a voice. They don't have to keep it in.
That's
Yes,
it. That's
indeed.
right there. They
Yes,
have a
indeed.
voice. That's what you have
Yes,
found. You have
indeed.
found your voice, and you're going to tell your other friends they have a voice too, and that's very important for them to understand that they have a right to be heard.
I'm going to connect you, Faith, with someone who means a lot to me, a lady named Eve Sheedy. She is the deputy city attorney in charge of domestic violence here in L.A. City. And I want to make sure that she knows who you are, okay?
That's what's up.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And also, I was going to say, at one time I asked a girl, "Are you okay at home?"
Yeah.
She exactly told me, "It's none of your business."
She told. Well, that's
Right.
because she's ashamed.
Well, that's the hurt and pain.
Yeah,
And
that's the
don't
hurt
wanna-
and pain.
She
So
doesn't
And I
know. She don't
got
know.
that because
that.
when I was even in first grade, I had to go there saying I'm not used to coming around these people because I'm the one that had to stay in that punishment to say, don't say anything. Don't say
Right.
anything. So I never had no friends until I finally said, let it go, let it go. And I started talking to people and kids, and that's where I got friends.
Yes. You are the one.
Yes,
I just
you
want
are.
you to know that you
Yes,
are the
you
one.
That's
And I'm sorry that you had to experience any of this to be who you are today. But right now, at 11 years old, I say you are the one.
That's what's
And let me say,
You know what?
What?
And you know what? And you know what? I got this all from Unity and Option House.
Yes,
And that's
indeed.
why I love Gloria, Maya, and Marcus Woods. They helped me.
Yes,
They helped me
indeed.
to tell me that I can have friends and I can speak to somebody, and all these kids that I can speak to, that they have a voice and they don't have to stay in that silence punishment, that they can
Right.
let it go.
That silence is punishment.
yes, the silence is punished. And you know, too,
Yes.
Faith, somebody needs to talk to the bully.
Yes.
The bully needs counseling, probably
No,
more
the
than
bully.
you do.
The bully needs batter's intervention.
right.
That
would be me.
intervention. Okay.
The bully needs to
funny
come.
is
Now we're going to
And
keep
the
you in the
funny-
car, Skip. But
And the
I'm
funniest
serious.
thing is that I love because I know more than, because I have an adult mind. So whenever
Yes, you
somebody talks about something adult, I tell them, so this is what it means. And they're like frozen, like, how do you know that? And I tell them because I went through stuff.
Yes, you did.
You've been exposed to a lot at a very young age. And, you know, that's the thing about your generation. You guys are
And my
not.
mom is honest with me, so that's like,
Yes,
is
that's
true.
so important.
That is
Yeah.
That is so important. I hate. So your mother never told you about Easter bunnies and Santa Claus. She told you about real life issues, and now you've learned and you show it as an intelligent human being. And I truly appreciate it. So give your mom a high five for me, please.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. And you know what? I would like for you to come and be a guest on our show.
Yes.
That would be really nice. And it really be nice, as Skip
thank
suggested.
you very much. I would love to.
Well, you know, as Skip suggested, there needs to be a mediation between you and the bully. Your
Right.
parents, their parents, you know, the school. The bully needs to be brought into this conversation as well, because if you don't, then they continue to be
Yeah.
a bully,
It
and
just
they just
becomes
find
another
another
one.
victim. You see, so
And the thing that cheers me up is that Mark is gonna come with me to walk around the school with me.
She
See, that's
said,
the thing that tears
she
her
said
up.
I'm gonna go to her school and walk around with her for one day. They told me I can come up there with her, so
okay.
I get a chance to.
Oh, trust and believe, ain't gonna be no bullying that day.
No. The bullying from
Trust
them
and
is
believe
over.
the bullies gonna get word of it, call each other like, hey, something's wrong, man.
Yeah.
Hop the fence, get out of here.
And nobody's gonna bully me because I have a a big black teddy bear.
Yes. Yes.
She actually has a teddy bear that she named Marcus.
Is that right?
That's all right.
So
That's all right.
That's pretty cool.
You know, whatever helps you be as strong as you are, and just know that this is a good thing you're doing, and it's going to stay with you the rest of your life and keep you strengthened. You're never going to be bullied by somebody
That's why
again.
they call me Fearless Faith, because I am fearless. And I want
That's
to tell all the
right.
kids that
That's
they're
right.
fearless too, that they're
Listen, that confidence.
Yeah, it's
Because
coming.
I am
It's on the
fearless.
way.
That's right. I can see it. I can
And
see
that's
it.
all right. You know,
Oh,
you
these
have
is two
to.
blessings. 2 phone calls was really good. Two blessed phone calls.
Well, see,
Happy to
it's
hear
that
from
month. We're supposed to get a blessing this month. If no other time of the year, you know, we celebrate this month for a reason.
Yep.
And it has really to do with faith. And kids' faith to believe that Santa Claus is going to come down their chimney and
Right.
eat that milk and cookie. Even the little kids have faith in the season. And we're just so happy, Faith, that you called us. We really are, because we're here for you.
Right.
We're here for you. And Marcus is more than proven himself in your community, trying to be a big brother.
No, he's being a big brother.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
He's doing
being
it.
a big brother, and that's
He actually
true.
has 2 dates. He has, Tuesdays and Thursdays? He has 2 days. So that's not trying. He's doing it.
Yeah, he's
and giving
doing
of
it.
himself. And, you know, that's sort of the thing that we were talking about when we first came on the air, is that when you came home and you said, nah, I was isolated. But there's something that you did, not something you tried to do, something you did to go from being isolated to putting yourself on the front line and finding your place, your position.
Yes.
Even if it's an hour and a half
Yes.
of drive away, you found your place and position where every Tuesday and Thursday you are changing
It's
lives.
going to be Monday through Friday next week.
Monday through Friday, changing lives. So think about that, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it. Ain't no trying there, Marcus. You've
That's a
done
good
it.
place to come back and get yourself involved there. I mean, it has a whole lot to do with spiritual healing and helping others and showing young girls how important their voice is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all tied in together, and to empower her.
Oh, I
To
heard her
empower
confidence. I heard her confidence.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm afraid for the bully now. She might go say, you know, this girl tried to hurt me. You know, it could change. So
Well, nah, she said something even deeper than that. She said she went to the one girl and said, what's going on at home? That is deep.
That was very
when
deep.
somebody come to bully me and I'm like, oh, well, hold on. Are you okay at home?
At home.
What, you coming over here with that
What
is
happened to you that made you
right.
come talk to me?
Yeah.
What happened to you at home that made you come want to bully me?
Bully me,
That is
yes.
that is just beyond
It
in
is.
11th grade. And she
is.
said she got the adult mentality. That is
she
just
does.
beyond that 11-year-old mentality. And I'm truly grateful she has that, because she has an understanding. She understands what's going on.
And really, we need to put her voice out there to help other kids her age understand that they have a right to be protected as well, that bullies really don't have any place. And, you know, Candy Lewis,
Yes.
that's her whole effort, is to anti-bullying things. So I'd like for Faith to be in touch with Candy, too.
Gotcha.
Because it's very encouraging to hear our young kids speak that way for their own sake.
Right.
Yeah, instead of having mom and dad speak for them, they're telling us themselves. That way you get the whole truth. I love it. I love it. So I really thank her for calling.
Right.
So we're almost out of time.
Yes. So Marcus got to say something.
Yeah, Marcus.
What do you want to leave our audience with? Just remember, Marcus, this is the first time that the audience has seen the CNN, Google, Apple type background. So what do you want to leave the audience with, man? What
Hi,
you wanna say?
Facebook.
I always want to lead the people with, you know, you got to take the time to. I always say, what would you ask your 17-year-old self? You know, and if you can't answer that question, then you're in the wrong place. You know, I think it's a point where adults need to understand that they're not kids and stop trying to act like it. Facebook isn't your home. Facebook is where they live. So if you know,
No,
really,
Facebook is actually for old people.
I mean, but it's
young
turned
people,
that way.
Young people
you know?
are on Snapchat
Right.
and
But
Instagram.
Old folks are on there too.
Snap, yeah.
Yeah.
Old
Ain't no
folks
old
find
people
us.
on
Man,
Snapchat.
this is social media done became to a point where your mom said, I'm on Facebook so I could watch your page, to I'm going to just go on and put this bikini on and show everybody, you know, all this because I can. You know, so moms are turned, you know, they've turned 20 years old and the kids are turned 40. You know, so it's switched on social media because you got a bunch of adults arguing and bickering about, you know, a bunch of nothing. And the kids is,
folks.
you know, they doing whatever they doing elsewhere.
They're minding their business and having fun. They ain't trying to start no fights. That, you know, because some of my older Facebook friends, not even in my peer group, I just post the most hateful stuff. Hateful comments about women, hateful comments about black men, just hateful comments. So, like, what's the point of this? Is there some positive thing that's going to come out of this conversation?
I think people forget that they being watched. So you got to remember that the recorders of the world watch Facebook. So when you're doing something, they doing it too. So you can't blame them and say it's the kids' fault. You know that they disrespectful. You being disrespectful. You know you showing them how to do it. So.
Yes, indeed.
Skip, last word?
Yeah, definitely keep your head to the sky. I want to do that, but also I want to encourage everybody to get involved in your child's school.
Yes.
How many, we just don't have enough fearless faiths out here.
That's right.
In this world. So I need everybody to go to your child's school and get involved and find out what's going on. And when you get there, keep your head to the sky.
All right. God bless you, community family. Thank you for listening, and Gang Talk will be back next week.
Look at the camera and say that.